Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this video is on the quadratic formula. I apologize again for the previous video, but I promise you this one will be very effective. So here we have one of the harder problems on today's worksheet. The key thing to remember, guys, and this was a mistake I made being careless, is that 4 right there, okay, has to be a 0, okay? The idea of the quadratic formula is you're solving for zeros. So if you don't have that equal to 0, then you can't use a quadratic formula. So what are we going to do that? Well, how about if we go ahead and start by minusing 4 both sides. And notice I'll end up with 3x squared minus 5x minus 28 equals 0. And then, because again, hopefully you agree 4 minus 4 is 0, and negative 24, negative 4 is negative 28. So therefore, do you agree that we have A equals a 3, B equals negative 5, be careful with your negatives, C equals negative 28. So now what? Well, let's use a quadratic formula. And again, guys, try to always say it out loud as you do it, in your head. Say it out loud in your head. Don't say it out loud. People may think you're crazy. Okay? But hopefully you agree. I'm going to do the negative of b plus or minus square root. I'm going to take b, square it, minus 4 times the a, which is 3, times the c, negative 28. Again, guys, be careful with your negatives, right? And that's all divided by 2 times a, which is 3. So let's just double check here real quick. That's negative of b. Good. That's b squared minus 4. That's my a there, and my c there. And I was careful with my negatives. Okay. So let's bring it up over here. Hopefully you agree that the negative of negative 5 is positive 5, plus or minus square root, and the denominator, 2 times 3 is 6, right? So let's do the radical part on our calculator. Okay, so here we go. If you look right here, you notice that negative 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 28 is 361. Also notice that the square root of 361 is 19, right? Okay, so let's use that information. We know this came out to be, let me just make sure, 361. And therefore I have 5 plus or minus, and the square root of that 361 was 19. So plus or minus 19 over 6. So long story short, guys, this here becomes 5 plus 19 over 6, which is 24 over 6, which is 4. And then we're going to do 5 minus 19 over 6, which is negative 14 over 6, which, as you can see right here, is negative 2.33. 2.33. And these two guys, these two numbers, remember, are what we call our roots. Okay? And as I've said in class, you also can call them our zeros, as well as our x-intercepts. But guys, that's our main goal right now. Can we memorize a quadratic formula? Can we use a quadratic formula effectively? So pause the video and make sure you agree with all my math. Okay, one more problem. This was problem 16, as you can see. Now, the key thing here, guys, it's not equal to 0 again. This time's the x term, but I'm just going to do the same thing like solving any equation. How about if we minus 11x both sides? And notice I'll end up with 2x squared minus 11x minus 121 equal to 0. Now that I have it equal to 0, I can use a quadratic formula, right? We know our a is 2, our b is negative 11. Watch your negatives. Our c is negative 121. Let's plug it into the quadratic formula. What does it say again? Negative of what? Negative of the b. Plus or minus what? Radical, right? Square root. What goes in our square root? B is squared, right? Minus 4 times what? Times the a times the c. Notice I was very careful with all my negatives. All divided by 2 times a. 2 times 2. So again, follow the green. I know negative 11 is positive 11. Plus or minus square root. Denominator is 2 times 2, which is 4. Now let's do, again with the calculator, the radical, right? So here it is right here. Sorry if it's a little blurry, but notice I typed in negative 11 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 21, and I got 1,089, didn't I? So I know that it was the square root of 1,089. Again, guys, with the calculator, make sure you're using parentheses as shown in your calculator. Make sure you can get 1,089. And then, of course, you notice right here, I did the square root of 1,089, and I know the square root of 1,089 is 33. All right, so let me just change color so it stands out. So I have 11 now, plus or minus 33. 33 over 4. And, of course, this leads to 11 plus 33 over 4. And that's 44 over 4, which is 11, right? And then I'm going to do 11 minus 33 over 4, which is negative 22 over 4. And as you can see right there, negative 22 over 4 is negative 5.5. And so I found my two roots. Most of the time, you will have two roots, okay, guys? And so my roots are 11 and negative 5.5. Woo! So I did a good job. I hope you agree. I hope this is a video that you will reference and watch again, guys. I want to emphasize, guys, the quadratic formula is one of the most important formulas you got to be proficient with. You got to memorize it. You got to know it. Just like you know a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Pythagorean theorem. So until next time, guys, bye.